You like that?
I think you
Timing
got
is.
it, dude.
I
I
think
think
I
you got
got
it
it.
perfect. Alice, where have you been? We have been doing the podcast for like 2 hours now.
3 hours. We've been live for
3
3
hours.
hours.
Yeah, you always come in at the very end, Alice. What's up with that? I don't know why. I don't know why you don't like watching us completely. You just tune at the end and the beginning, like some fake fan.
Charlie's been here for all 3 hours.
Yeah, Charlie's been here. He's always there. Even when he's not there, Charlie's always there. I'm just kidding, Alice. We're just messing with you because it's a meme now for you to just always tune in at the very end.
Right when we're leaving.
Yeah.
No, she'll be in there earlier, but then she'll have to go do something and then she'll pop back.
She's all confused still. You're good. You're good. Okay. Yeah, so today, Kat forgot it was Thursday, so she ain't here. But actually, I don't really have any bright news. Well, this is definitely going to be a shorter podcast today because we kind of did most of our discussions on the watch party. Today was kind of going to be geared towards getting her opinion and then just getting like a synopsis of how we all feel and how you guys all feel. But I think this is going to be more of like, us just kind of talking about the episode a little bit more, the series as a whole for a little bit, and then just talking to you guys. So,
what's up, Fulcrum? Stanley's. Welcome.
well, when you go live for the watch party, I am finishing up work and driving, so that's why. No, I know, we know. We're just messing with you.
We're just
Alice.
messing
We're
with
not.
you.
We're not actually giving you a hard time. The fact that you're here at all is amazing. Don't worry. We understand you have other priorities. It's all good. We do go at a relatively weird time. A lot of people finish up work around 4 and 5, but we just kind of want to do it at this time so that the East Coasters and then even some people like in Europe and other countries can make it for like a little bit, so it's not just straight up only Americans. Which is funny though. I think for Australians, any time that we do that would benefit Americans benefits you because you guys are 16 hours ahead. So it's like a good time anytime when we do it for Americans, if that makes sense. I think so. We'll see.
What are you talking about, Fulcrum? I've always
He never had a mustache, Fulcrum. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a different Zach. This is Zach 1.0. Zach 2.0 is the one that had the stash.
Yeah, we're like Marvel with the multiverse and stuff.
Yeah. We actually figured out how to utilize time travel and multiverse madness stuff. So that's what happened. And I'm not actually the same Alex. I'm a different Alex too. I'm Alex 2.0.
3745.
Yeah. We have code numbers because we've been assigned. I'm just a stand-in right now. Just happy to be here. Charlie just puts up with it all. Yes, Pellegrino, the best. It is the best.
All right, shall we get into some Andor discussion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you want to go through the episode? Just go through it. Do you have it up?
I do not have it up. I can do that real quick.
Okay.
Distract them. Do a song and dance.
I'll dance. I'm Alex 4795. So does this act like the Cowboys? Oh my god. Fulcrum with the zingers. Oh my god.
No.
That was so good.
That was good. But there is no Zach in the multiverse that likes the Cowboys. No, that is
yes.
No.
Loves the Cowboys. Actually has all the merch that was ever created back from when they were first conceived as a team.
Yeah, you know it.
It's borderline psychopathic, really.
Oh, but,
yeah. They like their Cowboys. I mean, the Colts suck, so
they do.
Yeah.
All right. So it opens with the scene between God, I always forget his name. It's like something.
Oh, like Cilia or something. Celiac. No, I'm just kidding. It is something weird like that. Not a very memorable name. I think that's kind of attributed to the character, not really kind of
he's
having his moment yet.
Well, he's also supposed to be like a uniform cog in the machine,
Mm-hmm.
But this scene with his mom, I'm assuming, I don't know, like this is probably my least favorite part of the episode.
You mean you didn't like the Rice Krispies or like the Fruit Loops in the milk?
I loved that, actually. That was the only part that I loved of this scene. Cyril Karn, sounds
Cyril
like
Karn.
Cyril. Yeah, so he talks to his mom. She's like, "You don't have any prospects.
Cereal Karn.
You don't have any prospects." And he's like, "I do have prospects, mom. It's not just a phase. Come on, mom, get off my
Yeah,
back."
mom, I'm only really old and I don't know any of this already. We haven't had this conversation ever before.
Yeah, and then we go back to Andor. He talks to this dude who's just swole. This dude is ripped. He's shredded.
Yeah, dude. That's bigger than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah. But like I did like their conversations here. Um, I really like this guy. I'm glad they could have done this so much more cliche where he's just like, "You're a newcomer, so I hate you and I'm gonna be a
It
jerk
was
to you."
borderline that though. Like it was
It
almost there.
Yeah, but it wasn't like full on like he has his reasons, and I feel like when shows do this, they usually don't really give a good reason other than like, "I just don't trust you. I don't like you because you're the new guy." At least this
Yeah.
guy was like, "You could like be betraying us, or you could be screwing up our plan and get us all killed."
Yeah.
And he wasn't like being outright a scum to him. He was just kind of. I like how he kind of like uses humor and like more veiled insults and stuff. It's again, it's good writing. It's good dialogue.
Yeah, and there's a pretty significant difference between dialogue and exposition, right? Like I feel like this was more dialogue and less, telling the whole story that's going to happen, right? Like they did a lot of show not tell here, and then the dialogue was more of like describing them, like the characters and everything involved here, right? And I think a lot of people are like, "There's too much exposition," but I'm like, there really isn't.
Yeah, I mean, also when you're doing a heist, you do have to explain the steps of the heist. And it makes sense because Cassian is new to the heist. Like he has to be filled in completely. So it's not like they're like, "As you know, Cassian, this is
Oh,
what we're trying to
oh
do."
yeah, like if it was
Yeah.
literally like they've been working together for like 10 years and
Yeah.
now they're like describing the entire story just so that we can understand what's happening. It's
As you
yeah,
know.
yeah, as you know, Cassian, because we've talked about this for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But we have to describe it to everyone that's watching us right now on the stream. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to look up like the significance of that of his tattoo, but I didn't. So if anybody knows, feel free to throw it in chat. Uh, Interrogation via innocent conversation. Yeah, again, like just good writing where it's
It feels
layered.
natural too. It's not like you can understand his like him having those feelings towards Cassian and like feeling hostile, like getting hostile and feeling violated in a way because he just showed up. And I think because he just showed up, that's a good way for us to explain the whole the whole heist and give more context as to what's even happening. Because if it was like Kenobi, it would be we're gonna do this and then they go do it and then half the people die. We have no idea who they are. We don't care, and then it's on to the next scene, right? On the next planet. It's like really
Yeah.
fast. It's like 20 minutes, right? Whereas this is like a 2 hour, almost 2 hour build up to this, right? So
I'd also like to add that Diego Luna is like me. Like when he shaves, the years come off in clumps. Like this man looks like he's in his 30s, if not younger, after shaving.
how old is he? Do you know?
He's in his 50s.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's
If
like
he
I think he's like
Wow.
young, like low
Let me look this up.
50s.
Let me look this up.
Okay, wait, I'm wrong. He's 42.
Okay,
But he
yeah.
he, he looks younger than
You
42.
just have like a fetish for like young looking old men.
There's nothing like him.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Please tell me the cute droid is still alive. I don't think it died.
No, they didn't kill it.
Yeah.
They left. They left it there with the woman
Platoon.
who saved him. Yeah, yeah, and Petunia. Um,
No, I was wrong. He's 42. But
but
yeah,
he's
he
basically 50. No.
you round up from there.
You round up from there.
No, but he looks like he's like 28 or 30 here. Like he looks very young.
Yeah,
100%. We saw that in the prison heist. It was like a one episode thing, and
yeah.
you don't really care about any of those characters. Um, they were just kind of caricatures, and that's fine. It just feels kind of like a cartoon or something.
That was a good opportunity too to really kind of build out like what the prison system's like. Um, a little bit more than what we are familiar with to have it more of like a gritty feel and a more adult vibe, because like obviously in A New Hope, it's just kind of like a couple guys just kind of standing around. Oh, what are you doing
Couple
here? Ow, I just got shot.
couple dudes
Couple
being
dudes
dudes.
chilling.
dudes being dudes.
Dudes being dudes in the 70s and 80s, you know how it goes. Very low key.
Yeah, he does.
He looks younger than Anakin in the shots. Yeah, I think because Anakin's living on a ranch, or Hayden called him Anakin. I think Hayden's living on a ranch. He's in the sun all day, so it's aging
I
him.
don't even think like so. It's kind. I don't know if this is a hot take or what. I don't think Hayden looks bad. I just think he
He's
looks his
he.
he looks his age, or he doesn't look like he didn't age as well as like Ewan McGregor did. But that's a
It's
pretty
just,
high standard.
it's just those really deep frown lines on his forehead
Yeah.
that make him look way older. You know.
Well, man, the dude hates kids. Like you're gonna be frowning a lot
I
when you
mean,
just want to.
isn't it the opposite?
No, he wants to kill all the kids.
He wants
All the,
to feel like he does have kids by having those frown lines. The frown lines are what give you the kids. I don't know if you knew that, Zach.
they brought back Migs Mayfield and did a great job with his backstory. Yes, they did. But I mean, specifically in that episode, you don't get much from any of the other heist members. But Mayfield was definitely he's probably the best one from that bunch, which I think is why they brought him back because he was so charismatic and liked by the audience. And then I loved his backstory. That was that was one of my favorite episodes of Mandalorian season 2. Honestly,
Yeah, I remember that conversation because that was where we got to hear the boom,
um,
the
that was
boom.
part of it. But like even besides that, it was a good episode with character development, and it didn't rely on here's Ahsoka and here's Luke Skywalker and as great as that was, like I loved it just like the rest of you, but I just appreciated that episode was just good old storytelling.
Yeah, one of his tattoos means crate head, and when I saw that, I was like, I just kept thinking about crate dragon. So I was like, does that mean they just trade crate dragons? Like I couldn't imagine what that actually meant because it's not spelled like crate like the planet, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, I know like Boba Fett's bounty hunting syndicate that he ran when he was a kid was like Crate's Claw or something. Crate's Head. Yeah, there's nothing really on it. I think that
which is
might be a new
cool.
thing.
I would
And
really like for them to keep making things where we can't just use Wikipedia and know exactly what it is,
yeah,
right? I like that a lot more. Well, then the Star Wars content can actually be interesting, and it's not just like someone reading the entire fanfic over music and stuff, which is what most YouTubers do.
no, yeah, I'm right with you, Fulcrum. Like, I think Mando's great. I think it's a great part of Star Wars, but I do appreciate this style of storytelling. I think more, and I think that there's room for both styles in Star Wars. I would just like to continue to get this kind of thing as well instead of just leaning completely into the Mandalorian. So, like, I agree with you, Fulcrum.
Yeah, I'm curious. What have all of you guys seen? Like, I'm sure you guys are all in other communities. Like, does it seem like everyone who's watching this show is into it, or does it look like it's very divisive? Because I'm seeing it kind of divisive, almost like the way Last Jedi was. I'm seeing a lot of differing opinions and arguments, which is very interesting to me. So I'm curious if you guys have seen that as well. Not on here, obviously. Everyone seems to be on the same page here, but in other communities and other comment sections, I'm seeing a lot of back and forth. So
The galaxy is at war. Um, then we go to this scene in Mon Mothma's household, and her family does not get along. Even the daughter doesn't seem to like Mon Mothma very much. This feels like a very like kind of stereotypical like workaholic mom kind of chafes that the daughter's kind of chafed by that, and the husband is as well. But obviously, there's more to it than that because she's trying to get a rebellion going, and she
yeah,
cares about people, and the husband just doesn't, and the daughter, I don't think, can appreciate that.
yeah. This is kind of one of those examples where it's extremely stereotypical, but it's okay because we don't know too much about her, and after already overlaying the way her husband treats her, it's inevitable that the rest of the family, whatever she has, is kind of against um, kind of everything that I guess she's been trying to do. And I think they're rubbing her the way that they think that she's so involved with the Empire. That's why she has no time. But it's not only because she is working with the Empire, but she's
Yeah,
also running the rebellion. So it's like they don't realize what she's doing, and she can't reveal that, obviously. And I'm sure that that's like so internally like annoying and hard to be able to compartmentalize, right? Um, but yeah, okay, cool.
I think this is like a lot of people might not really like have liked this scene, but I think this is a it reminds me of Breaking Bad, for example. Like, it's kind of the anti Walter White. Like, she is a good person who is doing something secretive to help a bunch of people, whereas Walter White was a bad person doing something secretive to hurt a bunch of people. And we get his home life because it kind of puts pressure on him, and it forces him, it kind of contrasts the departments of his life. And I think that's a good thing to do with Mon Mothma too. And because she's facing hardship not only with the empire but also within her own household. So it's just a good way to look at a character through a
And it's
lens, I
also
think.
very unfortunate because when you watch it, like you realize like eventually they're gonna have to choose one or the other, right?
Yeah.
And that's what is gonna happen here inevitably. So um I think this is very strong for Star Wars to start doing things like this. Um because it's just Star Wars just filled with uh cliches and like easy fan service or and then there was a big conversation about what is fan service and all that. So I kind of wanted to have a discussion about that. They're like, why is fan service is not a bad thing? Service is a good thing. And I'm like, I agree. I don't think the argument is fan service is bad. I think it's if fan service is just added at the expense of good storytelling, right? I think that was kind of our argument, Zach, what we were kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Like, and that Kenobi was a good example of that. Like, so many cool things happened in Kenobi, but it didn't come with any payoffs or at the expense of any good storytelling. It was just kind of thrown into things, and then a lot of other characters that were probably could have been good weren't because they were shoved into tiny little pieces of an episode, and we didn't really get time to breathe. We didn't even really get very many Vader breaths. Even when Vader was on screen, we got like very few like actual breaths aside from like the actual fights because the cutaways are so fast. Like that's a prime example of not letting an episode breathe or letting shows breathe, right? And I think Andor does that very well.
Fan service is, yeah, like you're right. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but it has to be earned. And in Kenobi, you can take moments and like the Anakin and Obi-Wan flashback scene, the Vader versus Obi-Wan fights. Like, those are good moments and I loved them, but looking back on them, I'm not sure that they were earned by the show. They were more so earned by things that came before them, and it just feels kind of awkward now looking back on it. Like, it doesn't, like, the show never, like, proved itself to earn something like that. Whereas Andor, it's we haven't gotten much fan service. I would argue that we haven't gotten any fan service in Andor, but I think a more prudent comparison would be like The Mandalorian with like Ahsoka or or with Luke, because it's just like I can accept that because the storytelling's been good, it makes sense, and um, it just made sense, like Bo-Katan would send Mando to speak to Ahsoka because they know each other. And Luke would show up to collect Grogu because he's trying to build a Jedi temple in the new Republic era, and he needs pupils, and he's like the only or one of the few Jedi that are still alive. So it all made sense. And just too often during Kenobi, I was like, why are they doing this? Why aren't they doing this? That doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. And I just think you have to cross your T's and dot your I's before you do fan service.
Yeah, it's not at the expense of lazy writing, and because it makes the fan service just it doesn't make it as fun or it ruins the very idea of cameos if you just rely on them all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
I agree with Alice too. It just feels more composed. I think it's a perfect word. It feels competent, and it's just like I don't it's not flawless. Like, obviously there are things wrong with it, but there's not many things that are wrong with it. It's it's really good, and it has like this air of maturity, and she's right. Like, it could pass as a show. Like, if this wasn't Star Wars, I'd probably watch it. I'd be into it.
Yeah, and I think one of those reasons it's building and breathing is because it was made for TV and it wasn't just straight up like gonna be a movie at the first, and they're like, you know what, let's just drag it out and just make 15-minute episodes
Yeah.
for 8 weeks, right? So,
What's up, Aiden?
what up, Baden? It's been a while, dude. How have you been? We got a short one today. We're just going over the episode. What'd you think? So far we're happy with it. We see it seems the community is a little divided, so um, just fleshing it out a little bit.
Yeah, so we continue. My Mothma kind of has a fight with her daughter.
Love
Husband
this set,
is,
by the way.
I know, dude. Her house, whoever decorated the interior of this house did a great job. Um, but the husband, I like how it shows that they're still feuding, even though I don't think he says a word in this scene, or he says like very few words. It's just well done, show not tell and whatnot. Let me get back here. What do you think about this kid? Do you like this kid? I think he's for sure gonna.
Uh,
I think he's for sure gonna die.
yeah, it's kind of hinted that he's probably gonna be the one to die because they kind of give the hint that he has so much to look forward to, and he's a very smart person, and it would be tragic if he died so early. They kind of hinted at that really like almost right away. So,
Yeah,
um, it's kind of predictable that he's probably going to die. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised. But I can't see much use for his character after this, right? If they are working together, I feel like he's too young, too small. I think Cassian even said that. So I think um that's gonna be one of those
yeah.
moments.
I think it'll help push Cassian towards being an actual rebel. Too nice probably dies. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's too. I said he's too nice. He's too optimistic, and he's too idealistic.
What's up, Zek?
We also
The
got
antithesis of Zach,
Colin, Zek. Yeah, my shadow.
my
Greetings,
alter ego.
exalted ones. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. We're just going through the episode. So they talk. He kind of tells him about his ideals, and then Andor's like, "I don't really believe in anything." And then,
And they're like,
yeah,
well, fuck you too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a meeting. Andor's like, "You don't know how to get the thing off of the rails. What were
Yeah,
you
this
gonna
is
do if I
like
wasn't here?"
so patronizing. It's amazing. He's like,
Yeah,
oh, well. It's like,
he's
oh,
like,
okay. He's like, I got some leverage now. His face lit up. He's like, okay, okay, okay. I mean, he's stressed out, but he's also like, okay, I have leverage now, right?
yeah, yeah. Something tells me they're gonna have an issue getting that off. Like it's not gonna be as simple as he says or something. And then
Everyone just dies except for him.
they're talking. I like that we get more about this guy too. I like seeing his role because that was kind of hazy because he just shows up on a speeder bike and he's like, "Yo, plan still on. Here's some stuff." But I like going behind enemy lines and seeing what this guy does on a day-to-day basis. And also I like learning that he isn't just posing as an imperial officer. He actually is an imperial officer.
This is a different one, isn't it?
What do you mean?
This is a different officer.
This is the guy that showed up on the speeder bike in the last episode.
I thought that was the guy with the um, like the guy who was showing the march.
No, no.
Oh, oh, it wasn't.
No, it's this dude.
It's that guy. Okay.
Yeah. Uh
Oh, okay. I was like trying to put two. It doesn't matter either way, but I was trying to put two and two together. Gotcha. But yeah, I do like the whole like behind enemy lines and seeing what it's like before something happens like that. Um, and how they play their roles.
No, 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 Charlie. I am WATTO, you son of a bitch. All right. Moving on.
God damn it, Charlie.
Get with the program, Charlie. Come on. So they're learning how to march like a soldier or whatever. I love this transition. I think he asks like, "Can you march like a soldier?" And he's like, "I've seen it done." And he's like, "Well, let's see if you can do it." And then it cuts to like right here. It cuts to people marching. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so good. Um, but they're back on the planet that Cassian was on. It looks like they're setting up shop so they can take control of this place, which I'm sure the residents are happy about. Uh,
Yeah. Everyone loves more control.
Everybody loves fascism.
Yeah.
Um, then they're learning how to march. This scene was chilling with the TIE fighters.
He's gone.
I don't think so.
Right. This is such a it like basically buzzes them. Flies
Yeah,
right.
well, I just love how it just sounds like what like the sound design is literally revolving around the fact that it's basically like a you know a Star Wars plane. Like you hear it off into the distance, just echoing throughout the mountains because it's such a loud,
Yeah.
powerful like thing. And then it just flies right past you, and there's like a delay in the sound to passing by. It's like, and it's really good CGI too. You know, like the CGI in Kenobi sucked. Like this one looks good. And
Yeah, I also there's something about like a TIE fighter sounds great in space, but there's something about like the acoustics of how it sounds in atmosphere, like bouncing off the mountains and the forest, and it's just like
yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
so good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah,
like I said, like the delay, because planes have that
yeah.
initial delay, and you hear that even when it's up close because of the actual real life effects of a TIE fighter, right? Or of like
Totally.
a plane. And I just love that attention to detail. Like it's impressive. Like whoever's working on it from every aspect so far, it's just very impressive to me.
Yeah, and
Just
then
you know, just play it, dude. Just play it coming down.
it's so good, dude.
It's beautiful, and it's cool because it sounds different still. Like it sounds the same, but it sounds a little different.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what's
something
so
new.
cool about it. Yeah.
Try something new. I like this scene too.
The guy sounds like a guy
Uh,
from Coldplay. Which guy?
guy looks like the guy from Coldplay. I only know what the main guy looks like from
Oh,
Coldplay.
the tattoo guy.
Oh yeah, he does. You're
Yeah,
right,
he kind of
Alice.
does. And it was all yellow. That's what I any music video I ever think of, I always think of that because he's just
Hey.
walking alone on a beach.
Then we get like one scene with them. It looks like she's still trying to figure
I
out
actually
this
like
whole.
Tarkin for a second. I was like, oh shit.
But
Fondor, targeting consoles from
they've basically figured out the whole construction of the rebellion, how it's made up of different cells that attack different parts of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mentioned this before. I love that they're showing that because that's accurate. Like that's how the rebellion has been portrayed in like Star Wars Rebels and the comic and stuff. It sells because they didn't want to um, make it be this big organization that could easily be dismantled. They wanted it to be like all over the place. It's like
Mm-hmm.
spread out throughout the galaxy. So that's good. I like that they're doing that. This was the only scene with this. I don't know her name, but she's taking some space Advil there.
How do you know it's Advil?
Oh, it's Advil, dude.
It's probably the hard stuff.
She's got a headache.
You know, there's some harder stuff for tension headaches, and there's even harder stuff for pill poppers. So we'll see. We'll find out in the next episode.
In the next episode, she ODs.
Fucking Star Wars Xanax.
So they have their little meeting, then they go on their little journey. Then we're back to talking with him and his mother. It seems like, is this the same day? Are they weighing the same stuff?
Yeah, he didn't move.
Wait, did they switch? Did they switch sides? He's on the right in the second scene. He's still on the right. No, wait, she's on the.
Well, what's the perspective? Is it from the other side of the wall?
That's a good question. Cause like I was like, Jesus, how long have they been sitting down to eat?
He's just like so upset about everything and depressed. He's questioning his whole existence.
You're counting on
Oh yeah, so
he-
it's reversed. It's a different perspective.
Is that even the same?
I think it's the same thing, dude. I think he's wearing the same thing, and she's
No, but
wearing
look,
the same thing.
It's a different thing on the wall. The wall's
That's what
different.
I'm saying. It's the flipped perspective. They just shot it from a different angle. See,
Oh
this is the longest breakfast ever, bro.
man, that's wacky, dude. The guy just loves his Fruit Loops. He can't stop
I
eating
guess
them.
it could be like dinner on the same day, but yeah, interesting that they
You can have
had
Fruit
them.
Loops for dinner.
Interesting that they had them in the same scene. And then I really liked this set right here. Like this looks so good. Even though like it's probably mostly CGI, it looks good. Like I really buy that this is like in a underground like cave system with Imperial
Yeah, I agree.
infrastructure.
I love it too. It reminds me of a video game, which is
Yeah.
cool because usually video games only show things that you only see in video games, right? So to see something fleshed out and see like the inner workings of something in a show is cool because once again, if you give the show time to breathe and build, you get to see cool stuff. So I'm all on board with it. And what's up? Oh, I always have a hard time. Oren de Jello or Oren de Jello, or and Jello, Oren de Jello. I'll just say that. Oren de Jello
Rangello.
Gaming.
Definitely
Hey
enjoyed
guys,
the
I definitely enjoyed
episode.
the episode, but I'm ready for the action. The quality is so much better than Kenobi. Yeah, dude, that's what we've been saying this whole time. That's what we've been saying since the beginning. Even when people were like, "It's so boring," it's like, okay, dude, whatever.
That's a direct quote.
Hey, Pixel Joker, welcome, dude. Guys, this guy is literally recreating Kenobi, and we're gonna be making a trailer soon on my main channel. This guy, obviously has worked with the best of the best, and he knows his stuff really well. So he's gonna completely redo the CGI. A lot of the cool stuff is already on his channel. Like he's already up there, showcasing some of his talent, and definitely go check him out. He's a welcome. A fine addition to my collection of YouTube friends.
Is he gonna redo the snow speeders?
Yeah, I think I will. He's redoing most of it. I even think he's going to completely redo. We were just talking about one aspect that he was going to redo. Well, he redid the Kenobi, Obi-Wan getting burned. He did that one a little bit differently, which is actually way better in my opinion too. He actually gets burned, which is cool. And then the back to tank scene's completely redone. I'm just excited, dude. I'm excited to see everything that he does.
Orandagello, but you can call him Orange.
You can just call me Orange. It's pronounced
right.
Orandagello.
Orandagello.
That could be Jello.
Well, he would have had the J. He would have used J.
I'm just gonna call him OJ.
OJ Simpson. I liked this scene because I like how he maneuvers them into getting exactly what he wants. Because he's like, they're like, we really want to see the space event, the celestial event that's gonna happen, and he's like, fine, we'll have a skeleton crew, but I want the ship polished the next day. So it makes it was smart, like good. Like I guess he doesn't get to his position without being smart. So that was good. I enjoyed that.
Well, I mean, Lucasfilm kind of begs to differ sometimes, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a welcome change.
Yeah, like let's just make all the officers fucking morons, dude. Because I mean, the Empire isn't anything in some of these screenwriters' eyes. It's like, come on, dude. They can't be. They can't all be
OJ
dumb.
Is America? Yeah, it's orange juice here. Yeah, plausible deniability completely.
Yeah,
spot on, Stanley's. Then this guy's like, all right, dude, you're gonna tell me who you are. I've had enough of this. And Andor's like, dude, I'm just here for the money, bro. And the guy's like, okay, that's understandable. Thank you. Have a nice day.
He's like, yo, straight up, dude. I just want some cash flow, man.
I'm trying.
He's like, I'm trying to go back to the brothel I came from and just bring some cash. That's all.
We're in
That's
a recession right now. I need some cash flow, so I'm just here to make some money.
Inflation's a bitch, you know. Women are more expensive nowadays. That's just his view, you know.
Jesus Christ. or men. We never
or
really
men.
know his
Well,
orientation.
I mean, I think he's straight, right? I think it was kind of implied that he was straight. He likes gin.
Does he like
unless
gin?
He's not.
That was a platonic relationship.
It could have been more if they didn't die.
Well, they did.
You never know.
They died. They died like they got like incinerated.
And by gin, I mean gin and juice, not gin.
Well, he's also he's an alcoholic too.
That would actually be a very funny t-shirt. Just like gin Urso, but it's like gin, not gin.
Yeah, she's like drinking gin.
Yeah.
I liked this.
Dumb.
Let's refocus. I like this scene because they don't do the whole typical like, oh, miscommunication causes problems when all these characters could just talk about things. I like how he's just like, I'm here for the money, and if you guys don't like that, then we cannot do this. Like, just deal with it. Instead of being like, oh, I don't know why I'm here. Ha ha ha. I'm never gonna tell you. And then somebody else. Yeah, somebody else does something stupid and jeopardizes the whole mission.
It's Wile E. Coyote. Yeah. And he just jumps out of a cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Colin. It's great we get more from the characters before they die. I think that's true of these characters, but also of Andor, because we know he does die eventually. And he was probably my favorite character.
There's like fan fiction in like 20 years. How Andor is still alive. There's like a new like Star Wars YouTuber that comes out in the scene.
Andor is Darth Plagueis, and he reformed his body.
Andor actually used the Force the whole time and moved his body. Because the sequels are going to be considered masterpieces in 20 years. So they're going to be like, they're going to abide by only that Force logic. So by that Force logic, he had the Force the whole time. And why he actually is
He
Palpatine.
stole essence from Rey. That's why he was hugging her, because he was stealing essence from Rey to heal himself as the Death Star beam was like incinerating him. So he's still
Yeah.
alive. He used Rey as a shield, basically, or
Jin?
not Rey, Jin.
I was like so confused for a second. I was like, Ray.
Yeah, Jin. Sorry, my bad.
I use the power of Jin to do all sorts of things, but that's a different story.
They could essentially do a TV show about Ren or Rey to fill the gaps, just like they did with Cassian. They could. The problem is I think there's a 1-year gap between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So like, I don't know if that's enough time to do a show though. Maybe like a mini series. But I'd be
Well-
down for like a Rey show post sequels with good writing and good storytelling. I'd be okay with that.
Post sequels can be a lot of things. Like you could go into Legends content, Legends creator characters. You do all sorts of cool things.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm not opposed to seeing Rey again. I think that I don't think like Daisy Ridley was the problem. I don't necessarily even think like the character of Rey was the problem. I think it was how they chose to use her and how they chose to steal like Anakin's thunder and Luke's thunder and give it to her instead.
For the sake of doing it instead of actually
Yeah.
explaining why they did it, right?
Exactly. It wasn't like Rey herself.
Yeah.
It was just the way that they implemented her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I
was
think
episode
The
10.
Force Awakens we gave the benefit of the doubt because it was building it, right? And we were
Yeah.
like, this one's good. Like, we'll see what happens, and then it just got progressively worse from there.
Well, you know, like we all assumed that they weren't going to turn Luke Skywalker into a joke and, you know, make him look pathetic and then kill him and then
But like, there's a way to make him like a grumpy old man, but there's another way to just like completely dehumanize and demoralize his character, right? And go so far from what he is, right? And I understand people do fall, and people do go through like trials and tribulations, but I mean, he's Luke and he's gone through everything already, really. And I feel like if he was going to be a grumpy old man, he wouldn't be that kind of grumpy old man, right? Right? I don't know.
yeah,
That's just how I see it.
It's such a like sour thing for I think most Star Wars fans. Like everything we wanted to see from the sequels, I feel like we mostly didn't get. Like I just wanted to see Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, like the super powerful Jedi with his own academy. I wanted to see something new, and instead we just got recycled stuff that just felt like the original trilogy, but worse and prettier with high quality digital
Yeah, it
cameras and
just
stuff.
looked so. If it didn't look so good, I would say it was the worst thing. But it
Yeah,
looks,
it looks so
just,
good.
It's just so beautiful the way that film was shot. It's sad.
Yeah, I'm really liking how Andor looks too.
Yeah, I honestly I do get like Game of Thrones
Yeah,
cinematography feel from some of these because there's a lot of dialogue scenes where it's like building characters, and a lot of the establishing shots and a lot of the just overall coloration of some of the shots and scenes are just like beautifully curated and meshing together. It's just you just feel there. That's the important thing, right? Like you feel like you're there. Like the coloration on Kenobi, the way Kenobi was shot, a lot of it was lacking and it drew a lot of attention to itself. And as a result of that, it pulls you out of the story, right? Whereas
yeah,
here you feel like you're there because of how long it is, right? Because of how long some of the scenes are and how long like the dialogue is and the character development. You feel like you're more there rather than just watching a bunch of things unfold, right? Like what old school film kind of was, right?
yeah. And it like I can't really put my finger 100% on what I didn't like about the way Kenobi looked, but just like it doesn't look as clean and organic as Andor does, and it's probably because Andor actually shot on location a lot rather than using the volume. And I know we've shit on the volume a lot, and you can use it effectively at times, but like I feel like Kenobi was a classic case of they relied on it too much. It was just an over reliance on the volume, and you can't do that obviously because it just doesn't look. I like subconsciously don't buy that that's where we're actually at, like in terms of the environments. Like it I keep thinking of the scene where Reva and the stormtroopers are like trying to get into the bunker. It just looks like they're inside a stage, like a sound stage. Like I know they're supposed to be inside a cave or whatever, but it just looks like a sound stage to me.
Yeah.
It's
Put back a lot of
disappointing.
Paramount.
Exactly. Look at the stars, how they shine for you. He's like a twin of Chris Martin. Yeah, he is. I'm never gonna be able to unsee that, Alice.
Look at the stars. Look
So we
how
get
they
this.
shine
I
for
actually completely forgot about this
you
episode or this part of the
and
episode.
everything you do.
Well, you just got us demonetized.
And it was all yellow.
You just got us demonetized. You're Chris Martin, actually.
Yeah, I own the rights to Coldplay. Plot twist, Alice. I am Chris Martin.
I am
Boom.
Coldplay.
I am Coldplay. Coldplay is me. And Orange. I wish I could tell you, but I actually can't. Lots of legal reasons why.
He'd get sniped immediately.
There's also NDAs and stuff that I actually can't say for a lot of that too, unfortunately.
Yes, some scenes can be filmed in volume, but you shouldn't solely rely on it for project. Exactly. Like there's definitely there's such thing as too much of a good thing. And yeah. Alex needs to sing more.
We'll do a singing stream with Kat, where I'll sit here and Kat will
Musical
just sing.
stream.
Kat can sing too. I don't know if you guys have heard Kat sing. She's pretty good at she has a good voice too.
The Evil Ewok podcast, the musical.
Where everything we say is a song. And we just like have like really bad synth pianos next to us, not hooked up to the mic. So it's just like really weird audible, like like a hissy piano. That would be gold, and I'm pretty sure everyone would stay here for that.
Yeah, we'd have like 2 viewers.
Yeah,
So this scene between
yeah,
him
I
and
thought
Lost
this
on
is
her
where we were
husband.
gonna get into like seeing something, and then it was gonna cut out, but we still didn't see anything yet. So I was like, okay. But they're
Yeah.
going to the dinner, right? Or they're going to the Senate meeting.
I think
or
they're
something?
coming back from something.
Oh, they're coming back from like the Senate meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool to be there.
Or something. Like some
I actually forgot this part because I thought it was already over, and I was in the bathroom and it came out. And I was like, oh shit, it's over. So I don't think I actually saw this part.
so then they finished their hike and they're at the base now. And then he's in his room. I think we've got some clone action figures there in the background, which is cool. And I think that's cool because like it would make sense for like kids who grew up during the Clone Wars to want action figures of the clones. Like it's a thing in real life. Like they're like GI Joes and like army soldier action figures and stuff. Like it's a thing. So it's total sense to me for kids who
Yeah, it's
idolize the
also kind of
clones.
interesting how like sterile and clean it seems like everyone's like they don't feel like a capitalist society, right? I don't know. I mean, obviously they're people of plenty, but they seem very minimalist. Every kid seems so minimalist. It seems like they never have a whole lot, unless it's just neatly tucked away at all times.
The future is clean, dude.
Yeah, it's clean, bro.
Until you go down on Coruscant into the
Yeah.
lower levels.
Yeah, it's fire.
Which I don't know why we'd see that in this show, but I'd love to see that. I love the
We
lower
see the
levels.
Martez sisters.
Oh hell yeah, dude. They're the best characters.
They'd be like 10 years older, right? Or like 15 years older. Or how many years from
This is
end of-
15 after Revenge of the Sith, I believe.
Oh, so they'd be like 60, dude.
No, they'd
like
be
50.
like they'd be
They're
like
they're older
40s.
they're older than Anakin.
They're older than I thought.
Or one
they
of
were-
them's older than Anakin.
Okay, well they'd be in their 40s probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
We look it up. 52. Damn, Zach's
It's
wrong. Even
Star-
what
Definitely wanted a geode figure. Dude, who wouldn't want a geode figure? Yeah, Stanley's "My mouth was charity burn to her husband" was hilarious. It was a good burn. And then I like this scene. This is as close as you're gonna get to an apology. I think he says to Cassian, "Stormtrooper Gary,
Oh, Stormtrooper Gary.
Daddy, those were the droids you were looking for. Baby, it is 110 degrees out here."
Gary just wasn't having it, dude.
No.
He was just a simple family man who didn't. Well, wasn't he in the Death Star when it blew up?
I think so.
He was like assigned to the Death Star like right before it got blown up, and then he like arrives and he like moves in, and he wakes up. It was like it showed him like a day in the life of Gary in this Death Star. It was so funny.
Dude, Kat needs to react to Star Wars Robot Chicken. Like I think I mentioned that.
Oh
to her a
yeah,
while
she's
ago.
never seen them.
She has to react to it. It'd be hilarious. But yeah, I like the apology scene, and then they're all cool again. And then Luthen's here, and he's nervous. And I like that this scene is a part of the show because it does show that he's he's human. Like he's worried about things. He's not like this unstoppable machine who always knows what the right thing to do is and is 100% confident in himself. Like he's just like the rest of us. He has doubts, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting to see a different side of him here. Like, like he's so confident in every other scene we've seen him. And
Yeah.
here he's a little bit more, himself, right? Which shows you really do need to have a really strong front when it comes to rebelling against the Empire, right? So,
Yeah, and then we've got the holocrons up there.
yeah. Surprised you didn't notice that at first.
I think I saw. I saw like some
overlooked it.
shapes, and I just overlooked it. But I wonder if that's illegal. Like he probably shouldn't have those because the Imperials would definitely want, or like Palpatine would definitely want that.
Unless like most people just don't know what they really are, because you really can't open it without the Force. So Palpatine's probably just like whatever. I mean, they're meaningless to us anyway.
That's true, but I feel like he'd just want to confiscate them and maybe figure out what's in there, because he does like to study the Jedi and stuff. I mean, he
That's
lives. I
true.
think he lives
Yeah,
like
he
in
lives
the
at the
Jedi
temple.
Temple.
Yeah, his the entire temple is just his private like office, which is really cool.
Yeah, that must feel good for him.
He just moved right on in. He's like, "Fuck you!" He's like, there's like dead bodies on his desk.
He
He's
didn't
like,
even clean anything up.
yeah, he's like, dude, just fucking.
He's like,
Like,
God, it
maintenance never
stinks in
came to
here.
clean. He's like, maintenance never came to clean the fucking temple yet. It's been 15 years, and you guys haven't cleaned the fucking basement. Like, you just left the bodies there.
It smells like
long-
1,000 skunks in here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's the episode. I think someone mentioned that they wanted to get to the action. Although they enjoyed it, they wanted to get to more action earlier. I would bet my life that we're gonna get that next episode. I would be stunned if they just sit over the compound and don't do anything for another episode.
Yeah.
So we'll for sure get the heist.
It would be bizarre to say the least if it's just literally a carbon copy of this episode structure. It would be
Yeah.
really weird because we don't have much time, So
Yeah.
6 will
I'm-
be great, and then I'm excited to see where 7 to the end brings, right?
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like one of the only complaints I have is I think people would be more universally receptive to the show if they released like the episodes in threes. Like the 1st
Mhm.
week, we got 3 episodes, and then maybe you take a week off, and then this week you come back with 3 more. And
Yeah, it would make it better
I think
because
the pacing would be better.
I think also just the instant gratification generation that we are. A lot of the people that don't like it are one of those like we need to get it all right away. We need to binge it all, because this is coming from Netflix, which releases everything right away, and every streaming service after Netflix hasn't been doing that. So it's like
Yeah.
we're still used to being able to do that on stream, and for TV shows that when we don't get it, everyone gets upset and pissed off, and it's just like we have to get used to, not everything is Netflix's business format, right? So.
Is my mic not working or yours? You're very soft here and there. Do you hear me fine? I hear you fine, Alex.
Yours gets really loud sometimes and then goes back to normal. Like it switches mics. Like it switches between that mic and then whatever other mic you have like attached to your computer or something.
Interesting.
It'll switch between it for like a split second and then it'll go back. But I would say, Alice, maybe your volume's freaking out. Sometimes that happens. But I mean, we're about to end anyway. I mean, we don't really have anything else to say. What did everyone else in chat? What did you guys think of the episode and the series as a whole? I guess I know Charlie doesn't like ratings, but what would you guys give it out of 5 just to make it easy? Just drop it in chat. I would say this one was like maybe like a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd still give the series so far like maybe a 4 as a whole.
The series as a whole is, yeah, I'd say it's like a 4.2, 4.3.
Oh,
it's
precision.
It's not quite at a 4.5. It's not quite at a 5, but it's getting really close. But it's because it's not finished yet, right? So
only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. I think you need a poll. All right, we'll do a poll. Let me get to the stream on
dang,
YouTube.
Alice telling us how to do it. Run our stream.
She's a mod, dude. She can tell us what she wants.
Yeah, she tells us how to do it. I like it more than Kenobi. Kenobi hurt. Yeah. It's quality but slow. I'll disagree. I can see where this arc here can maybe feel a little slow, but I think it's good. It's good enough.
5, 4.
I love polls. Yeah, I like it when bigger Star Wars YouTubers do polls on things because then you get like a better consensus about where everyone's at.
Someday we'll be big.
Yeah, see, me and Fulcrum are about the same.
You are Fulcrum.
I'm like just typing as Fulcrum.
Yeah.
I'm like everyone in chat.
I am all the chat, and I am all the Jedi. Polls 33% have given it a 5, 33% have given it a 4, 33% have given it a 3, 0% have given it a 2 or a 1.
How do you calculate 3.8? Well, the way I described how I calculated 4.3, but 3.8 is like it's not quite amazing. I guess that would probably be like a 7.5
out of 10.
Yeah, I think you could maybe calculate it that way to make it easier for your head. What up, Maria? I think it's different, but I push the story along. I can't handle a lot of negativity. So sometimes whatever be. Yeah. We had a long conversation about that. It seems like the fandom is divided a little bit. Which is very interesting to see because it feels weird being on the opposite side where I feel like this is what we need for Star Wars and this is what's good for Star Wars. And then the other half is like it's too slow, it needs to be more. But it also comes from, the instant gratification generation that's mine and Zach's and below with like the TikToks and everything. Everything needs to be fast and quick and easy and not earned, right? And that's a big thing. Like none of what was in Kenobi felt like necessarily earned. It felt too fast, and a lot of things weren't quite there and quite where it should be. You know all about this, Maria, as a writer yourself. And I think that's what the story is it's building more off of what Star Wars should be heading towards, which is more adult and more gritty, and it plays off of the idea that we're reliant on characters and storytelling rather than lightsabers and TIE fighters blowing up and officers being stupid, right? So I think it's good.
I made a video kind of about this topic, but I said, like in the video, I said Empire Strikes Back could have come out right now and half the fandom would hate it. Like they think it's the Star Wars holiday special, basically. I literally don't think you can satisfy a certain portion of this fandom. I think Maria's spot on. Like it just people won't ever be satisfied, and it's gonna be like this forever. It doesn't matter how good or how bad a show or a movie is. We're just doomed to have infighting in the fandom.
Yeah. I would say there's probably more division for this than Kenobi, though, because at least with Kenobi, we could acknowledge, like, at least our side, we could acknowledge the good parts.
I don't know if I
and
agree with that. I think Kenobi was a lot worse because I think more people cared about Kenobi.
Yeah, they did, but a lot of people are very simple in terms of what they wanted, and because they got the ending scene, they just said the whole show was good. Like I've been seeing polls, like everyone's like, for a majority, they're like it was good enough, and I'm just like, why is that even a thought? Why does it have to be just good enough? Why it could have been great? And then like the opposite side where we're like arguing that it could have been like up until episode 5 when we were doing all the live streams, we were just always disappointed and really pissed off at whether it was like misdirected at Joby Harold or whatever we were talking about. It was just one of those like situations where I mean we can acknowledge when something's good and when something's bad, whereas some people just want to write off something completely without having any discourse because it's not exactly what they want and they can't, like there's like a different side of the fandom that just can't have discourse about something and that has to be the way they need it, and it's bad. Whereas I think our side, we like Andor, we're describing why we like Andor, and if someone disagrees we want to have a discussion about it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, oh, it's terrible, it's slow, it's horrible, like this is the worst thing, it's Andor's a terrible character, boring, whatever. It's like, well, sure, just explain to me why you don't like it, right?
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Yeah, chat, go ahead and chime in there. I
Boba
would
Fett or
s-
Kenobi.
I would say Obi-Wan because there were some good moments, but they were both kind of similar in
For the two moments
writing.
I needed, far surpassed anything Boba Fett did, but the idea of bringing Cad was really cool. Like, I think anything with Cad and Boba Fett was amazing. Anything with
They
Luke was amazing. But
botched that though.
like they botched it, but it's still like, aside from him, dying, everything before that was great, right? And
No,
also,
I
also
think
he's not dead.
that they like that was I think that was bad fan service because they didn't really establish a relationship between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. They were just like, oh, they know each other, they fight, and then he's dead. Whereas they could have given us flashbacks of Bane kind of training
Yeah, but
Boba
you know why
because
they
that's what
didn't
happened.
do that?
Why?
Because they obviously didn't allocate any time or budget into actually providing a story.
I don't care about. I'm talking about like from a writing perspective. Like it just didn't make any sense to have Cad Bane show up and then die and not have like an actual connection with the protagonist. And like at least Kenobi had like an arc, a character arc. Boba Fett didn't have a character arc.
Yeah, he ended up in the same place, and then he questioned if he even wanted
Yeah,
it.
he's like, I don't.
He's
you
like,
know,
I
I
don't
don't
even
want to
know.
do this.
He's like, you know what? After all of that, I don't even want to do it.
It would have been like if
then, dude, what's her
Obi-Wan,
face? Dude, what's her name? I like her.
Fennec Shan.
Yeah, Fennec like looked at her and looked at him, and he's just like, "The fuck did you just say? What do you mean you don't want it?" It's like,
Yeah.
wow, you're such an idiot, Boba.
It would have been like if at the end of Kenobi, Obi-Wan's riding out into the desert with Qui-Gon, and he looks over at Qui-Gon and he's like, "You know what, Master? I don't think I want to do this Jedi thing anymore." And then Qui-Gon's like, "Are you serious?" And then it just ends.
It would be like Obi-Wan confronting Anakin, and it's just like, I don't even want to be in the dark side anymore. I'm going home later.
Yeah, that's what I said. I had like a 20-minute video, Fulcrum, and this is exactly what I said.
Cad Bane should have been
Cad
killed
Bane should have killed the Tuskens, and then Boba would have been like, "Well, I hate Cad Bane now. He just
Yeah.
killed my family."
Yeah, wait, it was the
It was the Pikes or the Bikers. I
yeah,
don't
it was
remember.
the Pikes. Yeah, the Pikes are the ones that did it, and then we were just kind of like, okay, and then they did a lot of really dumb, like, for being the Pikes, they'd made a lot of really dumb decisions too.
What's up, Jarn?
It was just overall, that whole show is just overall very strange. The theme was amazing.
They couldn't settle on a villain. It was like, oh, it's Corsanton. No, oh, it's the mayor. Oh, it's the Hutts. Oh, it's Corsanton.
It was almost
Oh,
like we were
it's-
reading a different comic book each episode or something.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
they tore pages out of various comic books
Yeah.
and put them together because it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
not Corsanton, it's the Pikes. Oh wait, no, it's not the Pikes. It's these bikers. Oh no, it is the Pikes, and it's
They're
Cad
like-
Bane too. And it's like, Jesus, just
They're
pick
like,
one.
we don't really know what to do with this character, so let's just throw in a bunch of cool villains and have him fight them, and then have them learn from each other and work together to fight a big battle. And then at the very end, him question whether all of that was worth it or if he even wants it.
Yeah, that's another thing, Alice. Like they finally decided on like the main villain, and it was the Pike dude who had Bubba's family killed, Tusken family killed, Tusken tribe killed, and then he doesn't even kill him. He just it's Fennec who shows up and kills him. There was no
That was right up there with
relationship.
Arya killing the Night King. It was like, it should have been John that killed the Night King, as well as it should have been Boba that killed the Pike.
I don't even want
leader.
to talk about it. We should have the Night King should have been on our side in our game, but he rejected us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we also lose to chat every week at that shit, and it
we
pisses me
do.
off.
Death, taxes, and us losing to chat in our own game.
Was Alice there on Tuesday? Were you there on Tuesday, Alice, to kick
I think
her
she
ass?
missed the game, but you beat us again, Alice.
Was she there on the week before that?
Yeah,
I
she
don't
was
even
there
know.
the week.
She was
before
there.
that.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to marry Kavan's ghost.
Oh, that's right. Alice has all like the romantic inclinations.
You need that though. I would have loved to see what would have happened if they did marry Kavan's
Dude,
ghost.
when it took the twist with like Padme or whatever cheating on Anakin, I was like, oh my god, dude, where is this going? That was so funny.
Freaking chat, man. They're so good. They're like the greatest of all time at that game.
Yeah.
They're like Michael Jordan. Boba should have used the thermal detonator on the Pikes. Boba should have done a lot of things, the Stanleys.
The long, awkward pauses in that show were fucking bizarre too. Like
Boba Fett.
Like he's like stood there to like have a conversation in the middle of like a big war zone, and I swear it lasted like 2 or 3 minutes. It's like, you do not have the time to do that most of the time, And
yeah.
anytime he needed to say something, it was always in an inopportune time that made no sense realistically, and it just took me out of it. It was irritating.
It was not a great show, in my opinion.
Anyway, that was the sidebar. Holy shit.
Yeah, we went on a little bender there. I think we're gonna wrap this up, folks.
Yeah, we're good. That's the hour. I really appreciate all of you guys popping in. Kat will be on next week. She lost track of time the entire week. It's just that happens. But she'll be back next week, and I should be there Tuesday and Thursday as well. So no Kat and Zach show next week, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. I know you hate seeing my face on screen, but
Yeah, they do. They do.
but I mean, I think that about wraps up. And then what was I gonna say? Weren't we gonna say something? Weren't you gonna do something?
What?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, if we remember later, I'll like remind you. But I think that's about it. Wraps it up. Thanks everyone for popping in.
See you guys.
And we'll see you guys next time.